Je voudrais exprimer mon indignation vis-à-vis des propos tenus récemment par le président Macron qui frise les mépris envers l'Afrique et les Africains. Je crois qu'il se trompe d'époque. En ce qui concerne le Tchad, la décision de mettre fin à l'accord de coopération militaire avec la France est entièrement une décision souveraine du Tchad. Cela ne souffre d'aucune ambiguïté.
Chad just walked away from France and into a revolution, a bloc, a change, AES. Why would a country long tied to Western powers suddenly join a bloc of coup-led states defying the world order? Let's find out.
Traoré strikes again. In a move that has shocked the region and caught global powers off guard, Chad has officially joined the alliance of Sahel States, the AES bloc led by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This is more than just an agreement. It's a bold declaration. It's the latest step in Africa's struggle for sovereignty, and the story of how one leader, Ibrahim Traore, is reshaping geopolitics in real time. Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traore is not just another head of state. At only 35 years old, he is the youngest leader in the world. And yet, he has become a symbol of resistance, of pride, and of independence for millions of Africans. Since seizing power in 2022, Traoré has positioned himself not just as a leader of Burkina Faso, but as a defender of African sovereignty against outside interference, whether from France, the United States, or even the powerful economic grip of global institutions. His speeches are fiery, his policies are radical, and his message is simple. Africa must stand up, united, and free. The AES Bloc Alliance of Sahel States was born in September 2023, when Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger signed a defense pact. The goal was clear: mutual protection against external threats, joint military defense, a shared vision of breaking free from Western dominance. The AES quickly became more than a military pact. It grew into a political symbol, proof that African nations could form their own alliances without Paris, without Washington, and without Beijing dictating the terms. For months, there were rumors. Would Chad join the bloc? Could they resist Western pressure? Now it's official: Chad has signed on. This matters for 3 reasons. Geography: Chad is a central hub in the Sahel, bordering Libya, Sudan, Niger, Nigeria, and Cameroon. Its inclusion makes the AES far stronger strategically. Military power: Chad has one of the most capable armies in the region. Their forces are battle-hardened from years of fighting terrorism and insurgency. Symbolism: by joining the AES, Chad is signaling to the world that this is not a small club. It's a movement, one that is expanding. The timing is critical. Chad has long balanced between French influence and its African neighbors. But in recent months, cracks began to show. France's influence is waning. Its troops have been expelled from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Russia is rising. Moscow is offering weapons, training, and political backing to leaders who resist Western domination. People's pressure is growing. Across Africa, young populations are demanding sovereignty, dignity, and self-rule. Chad could not ignore this tide. And when Traoré extended his hand, Chad took it. Make no mistake, the world is watching. France is furious. The AES bloc is dismantling what little influence Paris still has in its former colonies. The United States is nervous. Washington worries that the AES could draw closer to Russia and China, reducing U.S. leverage in Africa. Russia is smiling. Every new member of AES is another potential partner in Moscow's quest to challenge Western dominance. China is calculating. Beijing doesn't want to lose its grip on Africa's natural resources. This is not just African politics, it's global geopolitics. Across Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and now Chad, celebrations have erupted. People see the AES as Africa rising, a chance to finally break the chains of dependency. Crowds wave flags. Young people chant Traoré's name. Songs of unity echo in the streets. To them, Traoré is not just a president. He's a symbol, but not everyone is celebrating. Opponents warn of isolation, of economic backlash, and of potential military conflict with outside powers. The stakes are high. Now that Chad has joined, the AES is force strong. But the question remains, who's next? Could Guinea join? Its leadership has already aligned with the Bloc's message. What about Sudan or Eritrea? Both are seeking allies outside Western control. Could this expand into a Pan-African movement? If more nations join, the AES will no longer be just a Sahel alliance. It could become a continental powerhouse. Of course, this path is dangerous. Economic sanctions Western powers could punish AES members with trade bans, financial freezes, or aid cuts. Military pressure, there's always the risk of covert operations, coups, or even foreign-backed interventions. Internal division, different member states have unique challenges. Unity is not guaranteed. But despite the risks, Traoré and his allies are moving forward. Why is Traoré so important? Because he represents something bigger than himself. A new generation of African leaders. A break from colonial legacies. A vision of unity and strength. Every move he makes, every speech, every handshake, every alliance sends a message. Africa is no longer waiting for permission to rise. As Chad officially joins the AES, the world holds its breath. Is this the beginning of a new African order? Or will outside powers crush this movement before it grows too strong? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. Ibrahim Traoré has struck again. And Africa may never be the same. Traoré's vision of sovereignty is spreading. Chad's entry into the AES bloc is a turning point. And from here on, every move will shape not just the Sahel, but the future of Africa itself.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about Chad joining forces with Burkina Faso and the AES alliance. So Chad has officially left the French coalition, the French zone, if you will, the UEMOA. And now it is going to be joining forces with Burkina Faso and the AES. Now there was a bit of confusion regarding this because, well, one of the most important things that the new military government in Chad had said when they came to power was that they were going to maintain close ties with France. Now what they've done is they've kind of went back on that because they have now decided that they are going to be leaving the UEMOA and joining the AES. So this is a really big deal because it shows that even though Chad does have a lot of good relations with France, they still decided to side with the AES. And it also means that Chad is not going to be following in the footsteps of Senegal and Ivory Coast in maintaining close ties with France while at the same time criticizing Russia. So what's happening here is that Chad is basically saying, look, we need to find our own path forward. We can't just be a puppet of France or Russia or anybody else. We need to find our own path forward, and we think that joining the AES is the best option for us right now. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the history of the AES because I have already made videos covering that. But essentially what you need to know is that the AES is an alliance of countries in the Sahel region of Africa that are seeking to break away from the control of France and the West. The group currently consists of 4 countries: Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Libya. And now Chad is set to become the 5th member. The announcement came after a meeting between Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, and the Chadian leader General Mahamat Kaka. Now, what's interesting about this meeting is that it was the first official visit by a foreign leader to Chad since the military coup that brought General Kaka to power. And so, this really goes to show you how important this relationship is between Chad and Burkina Faso. The two leaders met in Chad's capital N'Djamena where they discussed a range of issues, including the possibility of Chad joining the AES. Now, it's not yet clear when exactly Chad will officially join the AES, but it looks like it's going to happen pretty soon. And once Chad does join, it's going to be a really powerful alliance. It's going to represent over 25% of the entire African continent. That is a huge amount of land and resources. It is going to make the AES a major player on the world stage, and it is going to put a lot of pressure on France and the West. Now, you might be wondering why Chad is joining the AES. Well, there are a number of reasons. First of all, Chad is a country that has been devastated by years of war and instability. They have faced insurgencies in their western regions, and they have been dealing with the aftermath of the Arab Spring uprisings in the north. And so, They're looking for stability, and they see the AES as a way to achieve that. Secondly, Chad is a country that is very dependent on France. They have a large French-speaking population, and they have close ties with the French military. However, the people of Chad have been increasingly feeling like they are being exploited by France, and they want to break away and chart their own course. By joining the AES, Chad is sending a message to France that they are no longer willing to be a puppet, and they want to be treated as an equal partner. Thirdly, Chad is a country that is rich in resources. They have a lot of oil and gas and other valuable resources that China and Russia are eager to get their hands on. And by joining the AES, Chad is signaling to these countries that they are open for business and they want to develop strong ties with them. Finally, it is also worth noting that Chad is a country that is home to a large number of refugees. They have taken in people fleeing from neighboring countries like Sudan and the Central African Republic. And so, they're looking for support from other countries in the region to help them deal with this burden. By joining the AES, Chad is getting that support, and they are also sending a message to the international community that they need help to deal with this crisis. In his speech announcing Chad's decision to leave the UEMOA and join the AES, President Traoré emphasized the importance of regional integration and said that Chad is committed to working with its neighbors to create a more prosperous future for all. He also said that Chad is not joining the AES as an isolated country, but rather as part of a broader movement of African countries that are seeking to take control of their own destiny. Now, some people might say that this is just a publicity stunt by Chad to try to get attention on the international stage, but I think that's a really short-sighted analysis. Chad is a country that has been ignored for far too long, and it's about time that they getting the attention that they deserve. Their decision to join the AES is a bold move that will have major implications for the future of the region. It's a sign that African countries are no longer going to tolerate being treated as second-class citizens by the West, and they taking steps to chart their own course forward. Now, what's also interesting about this is that it shows you how much support there is for the AES. When Ibrahim Traoré came to power in September 2022, he was seen as a bit of a pariah by the international community. He was criticized for leading a coup, and many people thought that he would be isolated on the world stage. But that hasn't happened. Instead, he has been able to build a broad coalition of support that goes beyond the borders of his own country. He's reached out to other countries in the region, and he's formed strong ties with them. And now he's bringing Chad into his fold. This is a really remarkable achievement for Traoré considering the hostility that he's faced from the West. It shows you that he is a skilled diplomat, and that he is able to build relationships with other leaders even when they come from different backgrounds. It also shows you the level of support there is for his vision of an independent and sovereign Burkina Faso. The people of Burkina Faso have been through a lot of pain and suffering over the past few years, and they looking for a leader who can help them through it. And they see Traoré as that leader. So what does this mean for the future of Burkina Faso? Well, it means that Traoré's position is now even stronger than it was before. He's got the backing of the people, the military, and now the international community. He is in a great position to lead Burkina Faso through this difficult period of time and to set the country on a new path forward. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be challenges and setbacks along the way. But with the support of the people and the backing of Chad and the AES, I believe that Burkina Faso can overcome these challenges and create a better future for itself. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good move for Chad? Do you think it will help to stabilize the region? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.